Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. Um, Thank you for Manhattan Chamber of Commerce to throw this event together and prepping everybody for the summer events really early on. And I'm here to share a little bit of what I know about how to prep businesses, especially local brick and mortar businesses, for foot traffic, gathering tourist attention, converting them. So if you're all ready, I will share my screen and you will see a brief presentation. Welcome, everybody. My name is Ruby, and I am from a integrated marketing agency called Solar Global. We're based in Long Island City, Queens, and we've been working with local businesses, mom and pop, and also global brands throughout New York City, United States, and some globally. I am specialized in cross-cultural communication, and we service clients usually who are cross-cultural, service clients who are especially good in our niche that we're talking about today, aka tourists and cross-cultural audience. So here, I'm very excited to share with you guys some marketing tips for the FIFA event this summer and also for Salesforce. So what's in today's agenda? So we're going to talk through three different topics. Number one, of course, we gotta have to understand what is FIFA, what is going on in FIFA, and what is going on in Salesforce event. And number two is why should local businesses start prepping now? And number three is, of course, the most important part of this presentation, which is how to capture the tourist traffic. What is FIFA and what is Salesforce? So, Manhattan Chamber of Commerce actually has a really complete guide, which has a lot more information than what I'm sharing over here. So I encourage you guys to go and check them out. But over here, so FIFA, it's going to happen this is for like a good month in New York City, New Jersey area. And it's going to bring in about 1.2 million visitors, creating about 3.3 billion economic impact. Where is it going to happen? It's the main show is going to happen in the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, but we're going to have fan hubs in official fan hubs in Queens and Midtown Rockefeller Center. Um, and I'm sure there will be endless bars, watch parties, after parties in town. So the whole city is gonna turn into a whole soccer club, fan club, sports club vibe. Um, and Salesforce. Salesforce is to celebrate America's 250th birthday. It's already that time, yes. And it's going to be grand, happening during this year's Independence Day. And it's going to be the largest peacetime naval gathering in history. We're expecting more visitors, a lot more visitors than FIFA actually, 8 million local spectators, and we're expecting 2.8 billion economic impact. Which is quite incredible. This is a waterfront event, so it's going to happen in the port of New York and New Jersey. So knowing that, right? All the businesses, local, online, we should all capture this opportunity. And especially for local businesses, we need to start prepping really early on for the reason that according to a Chase study, so from Chase Bank, 77% of tourists plan ahead of time before they visit a city, a new place. They would, especially, I don't know if anyone over here runs a restaurant, for example. a lot of people plan their travels according to where they want to eat. So this is quite incredible, and I hope businesses start positioning themselves on digital media. For example, of course, Google, TripAdvisor, Yelp, these kinds of listing sites, but at the same time, Instagram, TikTok, some of the more global platforms. Surprisingly enough, there are enough people in the world who don't use, for example, Google Map for their navigations. But a lot of people, they share the usage of TikTok. So when you're on TikTok, you make yourself searchable and you make yourself visible in front of the tourists a lot of times. So getting on these platforms, populating them, creating a persona there, give them the information that tourists need to make the purchasing decision is especially crucial. And everybody would need to prep ahead for that. So how do we prep ahead? There is that like big how. I would say the first step is always defining your goal. Of course. So increasing our tourism sales is the eventual, it's the final goal, right? But how do we get there? Do you want do you want more online presence? Do you want more searchability? These two look very similar, but I promise you they're very different because online presence is something that you get discovered by tourists. Think about when you're a consumer and then you didn't know about a specific brand. Um, you're scrolling on your phone. For example, you're planning a visit to, let's say, Japan. Everybody is going to Japan right now. You're scrolling on your phone. You found this like amazing like skewer place. You're like, what is this? I want to eat that. Or like a matcha shop. You're like, I want to get there. And so happens that you're planning your Japan trip, right? You're going to save it. That's called online presence, and you're going to being able to be on social media, creating content, or collaborating strategically with influencers will get you to that stage. Searchability, on the other side, is when customers already intend to shop. For example, you're already in Japan. You're looking for a matcha shop. You're searching on TikTok. You're searching on Google Maps, saying like best matcha shop near me. And then a matcha shop pops up. And then you're like, oh, I want to go there. That looks good. That's searchability. So these two have a little bit of difference. Um, and number three is online credibility. So how credible do you look online, right? When you're talking about a listing site, for example, on Google, if you intentionally curate it, manage it well, and you have good review scores overall, your online credibility is going to look incredibly high for people who searched for you on Google. And they're going to send the profile to their friends and family and say, hey, look at this business. It has a 5-star like overall review across 500 different reviews. Of course, it's extremely difficult to get there, but like a 4.8, right? It's got to be good. So they're going to send it to their friends and family and tell them, hey, we're going there. We're going there, right? On the other side, if your Google or TripAdvisor Yelp listing site is a little bit lacking, now is a very good chance for you to start looking at it and be like, how do I improve my score? For example, if you have a score of 4.0, which is not bad, it could be a little better, right? It could be a little better. And you currently have, say, like 100 reviews. And a lot of your happy customers may not have the habit of leaving a review. So maybe consider, between now and the summer events, encourage your happy customers to leave a review. Maybe give them a little bit of nudge here and there. Give them an easy way to access your Google review page, for example, a QR code to scan at checkout, etc. Like all of these small nudges, it doesn't really have to be perks. Just by reminding your customer that this is very important for you can just do the trick. And number four is how to bring more people through your physical door when they're around the block. So again, think back to the Japan matcha situation. You're looking at, for example, if FIFA is happening there, right? And you're seeing a FIFA themed matcha product, you're like, okay, I'm in the mood for that. I'm going to get some of that. So you're going to be more likely to walk through that door. Curating something with the event theme is going to be incredibly, useful, incredibly effective to bring people in. At the same time, also don't forget to make your shop pretty, put the posters up there, tell people what you have to offer upfront. So these things would do the trick for number four. And number five is spending per visit. What does that mean? It means basically how much people are spending in your shop per visit, right? When I'm on a lunch break, say, and I'm going to a local mom and pop restaurant, I would spend maybe at this current day and age, $15 all in, 15 to 20. But when people are coming in from a poor mindset, or they're coming in for lunch, but they're watching FIFA at the same time, can you somehow create a combo meal? Or can you create a combo package that gives them a easy access to your best choices, at the same time encourage them to spend a little more than $15 to $20, for example, for lunch, right? So all of these five different goals, obviously after talking through them, you would understand that they're very different goals. And to focus on each of the different goals, you would then look at different strategies. So I will throw out some of the strategies that could potentially reach one or two or even three goals combined for you, and see like which ones, you tend to think, hey, this is something that I can do. I think that would be a very good starting point. So number one is, of course, throw watch parties, FIFA specials, Salesforce special, right? So prepare early for these events. Event planning is always logistic heavy. It's you need to coordinate with all different parties, and you're there to basically curate this fantastic experience for people who maybe never knew about you. Maybe they are already your full customers, but they're looking for something special, more special than spending time at home watching TV, or maybe they just came back from the game, right? So they want something different. So prepare early for the pre-game events, for the watch parties and after parties, right? When we're talking about pre-game preparation, we can think about food and beverage, of course, like being in a bar, having a couple drinks before they hit the stadium or before they go to the next place, etc. That could be fun. But for local wellness and beauty salons, for example, tourists, they are looking to get their hair done, their makeup done, their nails done before the big events. So that's your very good marketing opportunity. You can make that a whole beauty experience for them, for example, right? And of course, watch parties for bars, after party for restaurants, for bars, and for, even like shopping. So all of these things are very much feasible. Takes a little planning, but you can do it. Number two is our special menus and offerings. I mentioned a little bit about if you own a beauty salon, for example, right? You can curate, for example, a FIFA beauty package. What does that include? Maybe some FIFA themed nails, hair, like maybe FIFA, even like FIFA themed after like relaxation, spas, that kind of stuff. So when you have a menu item, even though it might be the same exact offering as what you're giving on a regular basis, you're helping your customers to visualize it in a scenario where they can see themselves in. And that's super important in consumer behavior. When you are planning something in their shoes, they're more likely to reciprocate and come to you. Um, and this could also increase your customer spending per visit. What does that mean? Because it's really difficult for consumers who are not familiar with a certain environment to go ahead, read an a la carte menu, and really know what they're looking at or what they're choosing from. But if you can provide them with packages or indicators that, hey, this is the most popular thing on our menu. This is what our most popular add-on. I think it's going to help consumers who are tourists make a much easier decision. And um, we also would expect a lot of international visitors, especially for FIFA, which I'm going to talk about next in the multilingual signage and marketing part. But a lot of the international travelers, they don't know how to pick from a la carte menu. So it's it would be great. And it is also your opportunity for local businesses to curate this combo for them and either increase sales by making their decision easier or increase sales by throwing on a couple more add-ons for your business. And the next one up is our multilingual signage and marketing. When we're talking about the signage, I'm talking about maybe posters in your windows, right? Like how many languages do you want your posters to be in? It could be in English, of course, but what's the second biggest tourism population? Maybe you'd want it in Spanish too, and perhaps a little bit of Chinese, perhaps throwing in some other languages, whoever you want to attract, throw in that language and they will come. When a tourist touring in a very strange country, meaning like I'm not familiar with the country, right? I might not be familiar with English, for example. It might not be my first language. If I see my home language, it's really going to pop for me if it's in a window, if it's a poster, right? Like I can immediately see it on the street. That's going to draw me in 100%. 100%. When I'm in, for example, if I were Japan example again, if I were in Japan, everywhere is Japanese, I can't read Japanese, and I see an English signage, guess what? I'm going there. I'm going there, right? So make sure your signage reflects whoever you want to attract to your store. And if you're running a restaurant, maybe have bilingual, trilingual menu. If you're running a beauty salon, also like a la carte pricing with a multilingual system. When you're running your marketing, for example, you're creating content on social media, you are managing your listing, maybe throw in some different translations of your business description. Maybe throw in a couple different versions of the captions in your video. And these can all be super easily done nowadays. You don't have to know the language. AIs would do the trick. And also, if you're creating content on, for example, Instagram, they have auto caption. The only thing is you just need to turn on a couple settings, which the videos will just be turned, it will have auto captions that are in different languages. So now technology has made it super, super convenient and doable for everyday people who don't know multi languages, or maybe who don't know the language that we want to use to be able to communicate to express ourselves through those different languages. So it's really useful. I highly recommend everybody to check this out. And last but not least, we're talking about social media presence and our influencer collaboration. I mentioned this very briefly earlier, but basically, when you're creating content online, how do you make yourself discoverable? And how do you present yourself so that when people come across your social media profile, whether it's Google, Yelp, or whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, they would want to take a second look, maybe consider your offer, stay, or send it to their family and friends, right? So I would say one of the biggest tricks for social media marketing over here is to really catch people's eyes, hook people in the first 3 seconds. That's what everybody is going to say, hook people in the first 3 seconds, because people are going to scroll. People are laying in bed, they're scrolling. And if a video can capture their attention, they stay after 3 seconds, they're more likely to stay through the whole video. Okay. And I would say, for example, for restaurants, it would be really appetizing visuals of what you're offering. For wellness spa, it would be a very relaxing vibe. For example, and or maybe a very beautiful nails that you've done for your clients before, right? And being consistent on social media management is very key. If you're posting on different social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, you know that it's not realistic to expect that your first video would gain mass attention. It usually gains much fewer attention than you expected. But when you stay consistent with posting, when you keep expressing yourself on those platforms, their algorithm will start building tags for you, and they will push you to the right audience. And even if before the summer, you haven't figured it out, you're not pushed to mass audience, right? When clients are researching, when clients think about you're on the street of New York City, and then you're just searching online, like, okay, this restaurant, you're searching on Instagram, they land on your page, they will have enough information to refer to decide, okay, what do you have to offer? What's your vibe? What's your service like? So they can make their best decision to come in or not. And you get to attract your right audience. Aside from creating your own content, collaborating with influencers strategically is a very key strategy over here. A lot of the influencers that who like we've been working with, or a lot of small businesses have been working with, they're already very good at content creation. They're great at hooking people at the first 3 seconds. They're great at making their videos very, say, like appetizing for a restaurant, really beautiful, conveying that vibe of like you're relaxed, you're taken care of, you're well, and for like wellness spa, beauty salons. So leverage their expertise, work with them early so tourists can have a chance when they're researching, and they can pop your business in their saved folder. So after you have chosen your strategy, your goals, now it's time to choose your platforms. So here are 5 categories of platforms. I say category because Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, I would like to think they're their own monsters. And then we have the review platforms, and I have some international platforms that I want to introduce you to. So Instagram, we are more or less familiar with stories, reels, static posts, meaning like picture posts, right? So when we're talking about Instagram, I highly stress this one point for my clients, which is rely heavily on reels. because Reels is the one channel that Instagram is constantly pushing. They're constantly pushing Reels to your non-followers. So if you want to be discovered, be on Reels. Don't post static photos, stories. They're for your followers or they're for people who land in your page. But if your goal is to be discovered, post on Reel. And after you're discovered, what you want to do is you want to build a landing page for your potential clients. What that landing page would look like, it would be a few pinned posts on top, maybe. They could be reels talking about your business story, your founder story. It could also be pinned post of your menu slideshow, for example, your client testimonial. For example, the beautiful nails that the salons would be able to do, right? It would be the offerings. It would be very heavily informational. So when people are clicking through your page, they will know exactly where to look at. And those posts are going to be the posts that decide whether or not they're going to be converted, meaning whether or not they're going to go from a browsing potential customer to a buying customer at your store. Um, so Reels is for discovery. Static posts pinned on top is for information and conversion, and stories are to engage your audience. You're sharing something personal there. You're sharing something behind the scenes over there. You are connecting with your customers that, when people are not following your page, would not have access to those information. You want to build those. And sometimes maybe a few giveaway posts or a few giveaway stories would really help with the engagement. When you're engaged with your customer, that means you pop back up on their feed a lot more frequently. That's the beauty of Instagram. So that's the three engine channel. And for TikTok, um, the difference between TikTok and Instagram, I think primarily still lies in that the the tool's searchability. Um, sure, like more Gen Z is on TikTok, but enough of everybody else is also on TikTok. I think the main difference now that when I'm advising my clients is that TikTok is a lot more searchable than Instagram. A lot of people who are savvy with TikTok has already been using TikTok constantly as their search engine. They're not going to Google anymore and search best food in Chinatown. They're searching on TikTok. They're not searching best salons near me on Google. They're searching FIFA themed nails on TikTok. And guess what? If you're the one who pops up, they're coming to you. So leverage influencer programs on TikTok heavily. Leverage content creation over there to build yourself a landing page, like how I mentioned for Instagram. That's going to bring you a solid business over there. YouTube, on the other side, it is Google owned. So when you're searching on Google, sometimes you get the AI response, sometimes you get the listing response, right? Like the website links, but sometimes you get Google videos. There are a lot of travel bloggers online who post YouTube videos. Either they're long videos or short videos. I don't know about you, but I'm a tourist where if I'm going to another country, I would be searching up, for example, let's use Japan again, for example. Um, I would search up like Tokyo, like where to go in Tokyo, for example. And travel bloggers' posts or videos will pop up on my feed and they will talk about their day in Tokyo, what's good, what's bad, what to expect over there, what to pack. I would literally sift through all of these videos, I joke you not, and I would be eating my meal, like I would be playing it as my background noise. I would be doing all sorts of things with the videos playing in the background. But if anything catches my attention, I'm putting pencil to paper. I'm marking these places down, right? So these places would be on my hit list when I go to a new city, a new country, a new place in general, right? So YouTube could be a very, very good platform for tourist-centric information. And it's also very searchable. It's not being used in the same fashion as TikTok, which allows a lot of more traditional searchers to discover your content. And moving on to Google, Yelp, and TripAdvisor. These are your review platforms and listing sites. These are where people with the highest buying intent, meaning like they're ready to shop, they have money in their pocket, and they're looking to spend it. These people, they are on these platforms searching for the business that they want to go to. For example, when I mention Google, I specifically mean Google Maps. And think about a time when you're looking for uh, takeout. You would search on Google Map, best takeout near me, or like burger near me, pizza near me. That's when the results return and you get your quickest conversions from there. That's why it's extremely important to manage your listing sites and make sure that all the photos are up to date, pricings are up to date. If you have offers, make sure that you mention the offers over there and maybe upload some pictures of your restaurant, your beauty salon, your shopping center, whatever it is, but make sure that it conveys the vibe that you want it to convey. If your food is extremely delicious, upload those photos. If your salon is very tranquil, it's a place to escape, right? Like upload the vibe pictures, upload the interior photos. And if your shopping center has this unique item that everybody is searching for, make sure that you have that listed out so people know that you have that in your shop and they can get it immediately. And one bonus channel or type of channel is our international channels. And in our agency, we specialize in Asian culture, and we specialize in um, advertising our clients to Chinese clients. And for these two platforms, number one is called Red Note. Number two is called WeChat. You might have already heard of both of them. They are extremely efficient platforms to target Chinese audience. And Red Note has a very similar algorithm to TikTok. Not saying their contents are same over there, but they're both extremely searchable. And a lot of Chinese tourists are using primarily Red Note at the moment to search for travel plans, to search for where are the places to hit when they're in a new city. So if your target audience includes Chinese customers, make sure you're on that platform. Um, and last but not least, internationally used maps. When I'm saying internationally used maps, that might not have crossed your mind before, but different countries use different maps, and sometimes it's not always Google Maps. For example, as Chinese as another example, China uses three other main map systems. So they're not using Google Maps, they're not using Apple Maps, they're using something called A Map, they're using Tencent Map, they're using Baidu Map. And think about this, when before they travel here, it would be hard to cross their mind that they need to download all of these new apps all into their phones to be able to do more localized research. So a lot of them are likely to still be on their old app or their international apps when they're searching for businesses. And for example, on A map, sorry, on A map, a very widely used Chinese map, a lot of the New York City businesses are not on there. They're not up to date. That system is linked to Foursquare, which is already long dated. So if anyone out here today takes away anything if your target audience includes Chinese customers. Get yourself listed on AMAP. Get yourself listed on Tencent Map and Baidu Map. You're going to get more Chinese foot traffic than your neighbors. Okay. And to review a little bit, so our framework at a glance for today is really to first set your goals, second, set your strategy according to your goals, and third, set your channel according to your strategy, and fourth is always to review and adjust. I would say for people who are not that social media savvy or digital savvy, start with one goal at a time. I know it's really, really tempting to go all out for everything, especially we're this early in the prepping stage. And everybody who shows up today, kudos to you because you're way ahead of your peers. You're way ahead in the prepping process. And you know that you need to be in this workshop for the reason that you need to plan ahead. But still, start with one goal at a time if you're not extremely digital savvy yet. Um, After you can test one goal out, one strategy out, one channel out, see how that's working for you. I don't want this to entirely overwhelm you, of course. And this is a little bit of what we covered today. If you have any questions, now is a good time to ask.
Ruby, we're actually, thank you so much, first of all. This is amazing. We're actually going to pass it to Miranda now, and we'll save some time for questions at the end for both of you guys, if that's okay.
Yes, yes, please.
Well, hi,
Awesome.
everybody. Thank you so much. First to Ruby for that great presentation. That was super comprehensive and really helpful, especially for smaller local businesses in New York. And to kind of build on that, I wanted to introduce a new tool to all of the business owners called Greeter. So, a little bit about Greeter. So, it is an AI digital marketing display. So, it's the first of its kind and it transforms the way people discover your business. I know we talked a lot about strategy before, but this one is supposed to be a little bit more strategically organic, if you will. So, how it works is it's a screen that faces out towards the street against your window, and it learns everything about your business. So, your brand, your menu, the services you guys provide, different things like that, plus what's happening in real time outside. So, like, for example, the FIFA World Cup that's going to be coming up, holidays. So, like, Valentine's Day just happened, viral trends, local weather. Like, today it's really snowing. So, it learns all of this information and it creates on brand targeted images, videos, and ads that then can go up onto the screen. So as people are walking by, they see content that's super timely, super relevant to what's happening exactly in that moment. It's kind of like seeing a really good billboard. It's kind of with the zeitgeist right now, and you're like, "Whoa, that was really good." So just to kind of give you an example, because I know maybe it's kind of hard to picture what that would look like right now. Here are, hold on, I'll play this one by one. So here are a couple of screens that we currently have up with some of our current partners. So this is Sullivan Taqueria. This is in Soho. All of this content has been generated by Greeter and our Greeter team. So it makes really nice visuals showing off your food, the brand, things like that. And here, for example, this was during Halloween time. So we have your candy's final boss. And hold on, if we start the video over, like even the shyest monsters smile here. Book an appointment with the superhero dog. And this is showing off their new gelato and whatnot. And it learned that font is very specific to that brand. That's Pamina Gelato. So we were able to create some content based on their vibe. And this is actually their storefront itself. So it can get really, really specific. And this is the inside too. All of this content Greeter made. And you can even upload your own content. So for example, this is Rumble Boxing in Chelsea. And this is a reel that they already had created. And you can go onto the platform and you can upload it and then put it onto the screen. And what's nice is you also don't need videos already pre-made. if you have images that you want to turn into videos, our software can also animate it. So it's really cool. And I'm going to run you through the platform just to give you a better idea of how it all works and what it looks like. So this is the platform, and you don't have to worry about syncing up the platform with the screen itself. We take care of all of that. So all you have to do is go to hellogreeter.com. We'll make an account with you, and then you'll have access to this dashboard. So here, this is what it will look like every day. It'll give you recommendations for the day. So for example, this is Criff Dogs and on St. Mark's, and that day it gave a suggestion being like the forecast is chili cheese because that's one of their hot dogs. It was Thursday this day, so it gave them a thirsty Thursday. And it gives other different recommendations like this to kind of keep it really relevant and interesting. And if you don't like the ideas it gives you that day, you can refresh and keep scrolling through until you finally find something you like, or you can just create something from scratch by yourself. So you can go on here, it'll take you to a chat, and you can tell it, I want to see somebody eating my salad, and it pans out to them in Greece or something like that. And it'll create first an image, and then from that image, you can edit it, you can drop in your own logo, you can drop in your own food, and other really cool features like that. But here, once you see the images that it suggests, you can either save them, and also you can help train the algorithm to create better content for you with stuff that you actually like and feel aligned with by giving a little thumbs up or a thumbs down. And then you can save the video, and this will take it to your library, which we'll get to soon. Or you can just straight up create a video of it. So it'll take this image and it'll give you a prompt saying like a hand reaches in and with a fork and takes a bite out of the rice and chicken or things like that. And you can also edit it. So like, let's say it gives you that prompt, like a hand comes in with a fork and takes a bite of the rice. Maybe you can say two hands come in and they pick up the plate to show off the food. So you really have a lot of creative control, but it's also automated. So if you don't want to like think too much about it, you just want to see what it can do that for you. So once you click save here, it'll take you to the library, which you can also just click. And this is where everything is stored. So like here we have a video, or this is an image that somebody saved, and then they created it a video. So I don't have the actual video here, but you can imagine it's just pressing down into the burger because it's a smash burger. And like here we have escaped the drizzle because it was raining that day, Monday cure. And here's where you can also upload your brand assets. So if you click over here, it'll take you to where you can upload your logo and then your color palette for your business or your typography, what you want to see. And then you can also upload your own content here. So like I said, if you have videos pre-made or any images you want to animate, you can upload them here. And then if you click these advanced buttons, it'll take you to a part where you can create more long form content. So like 10-second, really sophisticated videos. And you have a couple of different options over there, but you have everything here. You can go to your videos, your photos, and so on. So then we also have playlists. So this is really nice, especially for events or seasonal things or promotions that come up for you. So for example, this business, they have a bunch of different playlists. So they have their 1-year anniversary for their business being open. So they had a couple of promotions. Like you can see, it says free house coffee or butter croissant. And you can make a bunch of different playlists using content specifically for that promotion. And then once you have that all set, you can then go ahead and schedule it. So once you have the playlist set and you have all of that content loaded, you can then schedule it to go up during certain hours or certain days. And then once it's scheduled, you don't even have to worry about it. So like if you have a promotion from 12 to 5, maybe it's a buy one, get one, and you create the content and then you create the playlist and then schedule it, come 12 to 5, it will automatically go up. So as people are walking by, they know that you have a special going on. You know, otherwise they might not have. So it's really neat in that way too. And And what's really nice is if you don't have a storefront, that is okay. Some of the businesses we work with also don't have storefronts. Well, at least the storefront space for a screen, but they still want to utilize the software to get that content out there. You know, we were talking a lot about the different channels you can post on and kind of start garnering that audience. So this is a really nice tool to kind of just like get a bunch of content ready without, spending too much money or really like breaking your back over it. So like we have Lalicha, they use a lot of content from us. Open Sesame uses a lot. This is Love Mama. So, and also all of the content that we make is in like that vertical format. So it's perfect for reels, perfect for TikTok, for your stories. And here's a piece of content that we made for Love Mama to give you an idea of the quality. Yeah. So pretty nice. It looks really realistic, really good. And it's all AI generated, but it does pull a lot of information from your business. So from like your Google reviews, from your website. So the content is based on real things. So yeah. So that's a bit about Creator. I know that was we kind of just like went through that pretty quickly. Um, but yeah, I would love to open it up to any questions. If you have any questions about Greeter and you want to talk to me about it, I have my contact info here. Um, and yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Thanks,
Uh,
Miranda. Appreciate it.
yeah.
Yeah, I think now what we can do, we have about 10 minutes left. I know there's some questions in the chat already for Ruby, and I'm sure there'll be some for Greeter as well. So why don't we get started on Q&A? If you put a question in the chat and you want to unmute yourself and ask it directly, feel free. And if not, I'm happy to read it from the chat as well.
I'm seeing some questions about service-oriented businesses and not brick and mortar. So I want to say first thing first, like different service businesses have different strategies, of course. When we're talking about service businesses, what's coming to my head are more B2B opportunities currently. So when you're working with another business, for example, your staffing agency, like what Jonathan had said, or if you're a catering company looking to capture the FIFA event opportunity, I would say prep early on, really early on, because when you're looking to collaborate with another place to make sure you're capturing this opportunity, whether you're catering to a hotel, whether you're staffing a like a event venue. I'm not exactly sure what's the applicable situation over here, just throwing things on top of my mind. You're looking to collaborate with someone else who's direct consumer or the when we're talking about it's B2B and B2C, business to business and business to consumer. So you're likely being in the middle position where you're looking to collaborate with another business who want to capitalize on consumers, right? So think about consumers are coming in this summer during June to July. So you're probably looking to nail down some contracts, the latest around like May to beginning of June, right? The latest. So you're looking to get ahead and get in front of these big venues or these uh, it could be hotels, it could be other places. Basically, you're looking to get in front of those people. I would say B2B marketing is a lot different from B2C. I'm not specialized in B2B, but throughout the years, I've seen people going to conferences, trade shows. People are emailing, either cold emailing or cold calling, but the right contact, telling them what you have to offer. And of course, content creation always works in those scenarios. If you can get discovered, you're going to be discovered by a lot of people. They could act as your consumer one day. So, for example, of course, I eat lunch, I eat dinner, I buy stuff, I go to salons, right? I could be a normal consumer, but on the other side, I could also be a vendor, I could be a service provider. So you never know who your video or who your content is going to touch online and what opportunity that's going to bring you,
Thank you. That's great.
of course.
Also, I'm seeing a question from Kiana Martin. She said, Miranda, what is the logistical slash installation setup for Greeter? Good question. So we actually provide everything. So we provide the screen, we do the installation itself, we help you with the onboarding. So that's all taken care of. It's part of the package. So you don't have to buy, like, there's no upfront costs for like screen. You don't have to have your own setup. We do that. And then Aliana Soto also said, for the greeter screen, can you talk more about tracking, what's happening outside your business, and how it uses the data to create content? So that's a really good question. So a new feature we're actually rolling out with is we have attention sensors that essentially capture the gaze of people walking by, and we can see, and it only records it if they're staring at the screen for more than 2 seconds. So when we see when they're looking at the screen, we can also see what type of content they're looking at. So with that content, we can then, recognize what are people looking at, what are they engaging with, can we make more of that, and then track it as we kind of adjust our strategy there. And yeah, I think that's all for that. Also, another thing people are doing, yeah, just 1 second, but also a lot of people are putting up QR codes. So, for example, if you have like a takeout um, site, or you have like an online menu that you want to showcase, or you have an event that you're hosting, a lot of people like to put up their QR codes. And then as people are just walking by, they can quickly scan it. And we can actually track how many people are scanning the QR codes. So, we can see like 20 plus people scanned it. And then what's the conversion rate there? So it's a nice way to just like kind of boost your visibility and also the engagement all around. Are we tracking demographic data? No, they don't track demographic data, just more so the engagement in general. Any other questions?
I did see a question earlier for Ruby around if you're hosting a pop-up, what kind of strategies you'd use.
Let me take a quick look. If you're hosting a pop-up, like a pop-up event for the FIFA, for example, Salesforce. So if hosting a pop-up, I would say definitely advertise online a lot and leverage your partners. For example, if you're popping up in a local coffee shop, you're popping up in a local clothing shop, make sure that they're utilizing their platform to help you advertise. And also get on papers if you can, get on media if you can. I know quite a lot of New York local coverages, New York local journalists, they love writing about pop-up, depending on what type of item or what type of service you're bringing into the area.
Mhm. Thanks, Ruby. All right, yeah, and thank you, Miranda, as well. So now I'm just gonna share my screen briefly to close this out by sharing some free resources the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce has developed to support your business. So we created what we're calling the Summer of Opportunity Guide, and it summarizes some of what we heard today in terms of marketing strategies and tips for engaging tourists, attracting them to your storefront this summer. It also has some operational strategies, especially for managing high tourist traffic. In the guide, we actually kind of highlight what areas across the 5 boroughs we might expect to see tourists, what times we might expect to see foot traffic based on some of the World Cup games being hosted at MetLife. And then there's also an easy just like list of free promotion opportunities and other resources to help you get prepared for the summer. So this is a really good starting point. So I'd recommend just can scan the QR code. I'll also put the link in the chat and we'll follow up with the link via email. But it should give you kind of an overview and help you start ideating on how you want to prepare. The next resource is um, a free promotion opportunity. So we've partnered with Live XYZ, and they are a company that builds out digital interactive maps. And this is completely free to any retail storefront. And what you can do is you can submit a form telling us if you're going to have a FIFA watch party, if you'll be screening the games. You might have a Salesforce parade viewing if you're on the waterfront. Or you might just be hosting like discounts and promotions this summer to attract tourists. You might be hosting other events and activities, and we want to know about that so that we can promote it to tourists. So if you submit your information, we are then going to be promoting this map to tourists come this summer. And the whole goal of this like free promotion opportunity is really to drive tourist foot traffic to small retail storefronts across the city this summer. So would encourage you to check out the form, and especially as after you review the guide and start to figure out what you want to do for this summer, let us know because we want to help you get the word out. And then lastly, this was one webinar in our long series of webinars to prepare retail storefronts ahead of the summer. So there will be more to come. On March 9th, we're going to have another webinar that digs deeper into similar topics about how to get found this summer. And then we're also going to have a compliance-focused webinar, how to make sure you're ready for this summer. The NYC Best team from SBS will be joining us to walk through some things to keep in mind. And then we're also kind of working on some additional webinars to help you activate your retail space ahead of the summer. So you can stay tuned for those. If you scan this QR code, it'll take you to our event page, and that's where you'll stay up to date to see if we have any events. And those are all free. So yeah, make sure to tune in. And I think that is it for today. So thank you so much again to our speakers, and thanks everyone for joining.